girls love that. Welcome to episode 193 of the Weekly Pour Podcast. Of course, I am TBT. That guy over there is Ace. Welcome to everybody that's in the chat. We appreciate you guys stopping by and watching us live as we screw everything up, as always. Want to thank those that are already in the chat. If you are watching right now live, jump into that chat and say hi so that we know you are there. If you are happening to watch this and or listen to it after the fact, well, hello anyway. Drop us an email, give us a call, leave us a voicemail. That number is 747-333 something, 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 something. Should be right there in the corner of your screen. I have way too many other numbers to try to remember, so I'm not even going to try.
Too many screens. Too many screens.
Too many. Just too many altogether. Of course, we want to jump out and say a very special thank you to Petty's Poor Decisions. Without them, well, we'd still have this podcast, but it'd be different. Ace wouldn't have his ugly t-shirt on. But anyway, thank you to Petty's Poor Decisions. Petty's Poor Decisions, of course, mobile bar service out of Bedford, Indiana, Lawrence County area. However, they cover more than just this area. So check them out. We are back. We are 7 episodes away from jumping into our 200th episode. So we are super stoked about that. Real quick, want to say hi to those that are in the chat that have already made themselves known. Of course, Mama TBT, number 1 on the list, as always, for the 372nd time. She is the first one. We'll say hello to Mrs. TBT and say hello to Pam. And of course, moderator extraordinaire for this week, anyway, Natalie. So we welcome you guys.
Not last week.
No. She wasn't very extraordinaire last week, but that's okay. We got a lot of news to get into today, including some stuff from Poison. We've got some Crüe, that being Motley Crue, some interesting news from Heart. What else do we have? Some stuff on Ozzy. The legacy never dies, and you know, it keeps on going. Then I think our last story is going to be quite a lot to talk about. I'm really going to want some information from the chat. I want you guys to jump in on this. And this is going to be a story on AI. And then, of course, we're going to talk about a few things here and there. But before we do all that,
Weekly Recap!
You know it's time for our weekly recap. And that's where myself and Ace talk about what we've done in the last week. I've already got my story. I'm letting you jump in so you can tell us all about your week.
Well, my week was I didn't mow. I didn't mow. It was too hot or rainy or something. There was a reason. I was busy Saturday, all day Saturday. I worked Sunday, so that left no time to mow, and it wasn't that bad. And now it's getting bad. You know that story. And
Yes.
I wore this because it's almost football season, and I was in the mood for a football type thing. You know, the Colts play tomorrow.
But one thing to also, who plays tomorrow?
Indianapolis.
Oh, so do the Raiders.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. You talk about it being football, but if you didn't know, today being August 12th, back in 1994, Major League Baseball went on strike, ruining the World Series and forcing people to actually talk to their families during summer evenings instead of watching baseball.
Well, you know, we may hit another one.
Probably.
Another lockout. We'll see. Yeah. And I got to watch the Yankees last night, my beloved Yankees.
Oh, I hope they lost again.
No, they won.
Oh, okay. That's like what, their third win of the season?
It's like 66. They have 66 wins or something.
Oh, out of 122 games?
162 games in the season. Yeah, we're not quite, you know, we're getting close. You're right.
Oh, yeah, I was close. I was very close.
You're getting close.
Being August.
But no, nothing out of the ordinary for my week other than today. Mrs. Ace and I are celebrating an anniversary, so happy anniversary to her.
Yes, happy anniversary to Mrs. Ace and to you, of course. This is your 7th marriage. And this one has went for 8 years, and I am very, very proud of you guys. So yes,
Oh
very good,
wow.
very good.
Why would I even try? I'm not Ric Flair. I don't get married at the whim, just because.
Tell us the number. How many years?
31.
That is incredible. But what I will say is,
We're consistent.
that's literally what I was going to say. You're consistent. So good job. Good job. If you didn't know, today being August 12th is not only the day that Major League Baseball went on strike in 1994, it also happens to be National Vinyl Record Day. Today is the day to celebrate the classic experience of listening to music on vinyl. So that's something kind of cool.
I missed out. I'm here now, probably going to talk about something like that, but I missed out on knowing I could have done that all day.
You could have, because you have that portable vinyl record player in your vehicle.
I do.
Yeah,
It, it's got the anti-skip
yeah,
modulator, so it works really well.
exactly.
Remember when that was a concern for CD players when they first came out in cars, making sure they were secure enough to not skip in
In
the player?
cars,
Because
what about the portable CD players? The ones that had like, it would have the label on the outside. Oh, you can't get it unless it's got like shock resistant or shock proof or skip proof
what were you
something.
going to do? Drop it?
Probably off of your
Probably.
big old belt clip that you would put it
Right.
on. Yeah.
You talking about the ones like that used to be like a Walkman?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I remember those. I
Yeah.
never had one of those, but I had the cassette, the Walkman.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, those were nice. Portable music's great.
For sure. Now all you got to do is put in some AirPods or whatever that are wireless, and you're good. I
Uh,
wear
for,
headphones when I'm mowing. Love them.
uh, I do too. There are still some people though that are putting out records exclusively on certain formats like vinyl.
Right.
Um, Peter Chris did that with his most recent record that
Yeah.
I still want to hear. I'd love to hear it, but I haven't went out and bought the vinyl. I guess I could have today and listened to it all day.
Right. But the problem would have probably been that you needed to find it, being able to find it out there. I've checked the local Wally World, and it's not there.
No, you would have to probably go to a record store, and we have I think two now locally.
Yeah. I
You'd
think
have to
so.
drive a bit, about 30 minutes, but
Yeah. But it still might be worth it. Um, with it being August, this is the time where you see it all over social media. There may be people that are in the chat right now that have done this themselves. I will not call them out, but it happens to be the time to return to school.
yes,
And everybody, because nobody has ever went to school before, must post photos of their children because they can't believe that they've made it to this grade, or they're going to this school, or they're going to this teacher. I judge. I
did you
do.
not do that with your children?
I do know because we had MySpace back then. Nobody cared. My top 8 friends didn't care. So I went through all of these posts. Again, I'm not calling it, well, I'm going to call one person out. Um, I went through all of these posts, all of these photos. Some people did videos, some people did boomerangs. And I literally found a boomerang is it's hard to explain, but it's like a 3-second clip and they're literally doing the same thing. It's, like a boomerang. There may be somebody in the chat, not going to name who they are, but they may be a moderator, and they like to do boomerangs. Anyway, I was searching and searching, not searching, I'm looking. I'm taking a look at all of these. Oh, look at my kid going to school. This one's going to 8th grade and this one's going to kindergarten. And it didn't take long for me to find a photo that I immediately had to save. No
No,
worries. I'm not exposing a child on here that I don't have a written permission slip from, but I am going to share this photo only because I think it's fair. Um, it's fair because it needs to be shown, and I would personally like an explanation when the photo is put up. But as you can see, Ace was able to get his first day of school photo published. And I just want to point out a few things. Number one, you have enough pens to last the entire school year. Number
You
two,
never know.
you're writing in your notebook upside down. I do appreciate your plan, which is to be awesome, avoid sports, eat lunch early, and nap after school. That is fantastic. It's good to know that your name is Ace and that you wore a little name tag for everybody to know. But
They made us.
what really gets me is the fact that you have two books, one of which is Podcasting for Dummies, and the other one is Rock and Roll for Dummies. I'm not quite sure. I'm so very glad you weren't standing up because it, honest to goodness, looks like you're wearing a kilt. Um, your suspenders are not even. The bow tie, you've got tape on your glasses. I encourage anyone that happens to be listening to this podcast to please go to the video of this, which is located on YouTube, or if you're on our Facebook. And as you can see, I'm still talking with this photo up because it's very important for everybody to get a look at this.
I got, I didn't, my clothes were laid out for me.
Well, my question also is you have a book on cool facts, and underneath
Yeah.
that in the shelf, you have a book that's called Matt. What is Matt? Who is Matt? I'll do you one better. What is Matt?
I don't know. I think I got a discount book because
It's a
it's probably,
possibility.
it probably should have been math.
It's okay. It was just very important for me to share that photo. I do appreciate you sharing your first day. It's very important. Um, and I look forward to seeing your Halloween costume, what you dress up for as Christmas, and if you actually dress up for Thanksgiving. So, everybody, if you would please thank Ace for sharing that photo because it is very important, and I'm sure the chat appreciate it.
Yeah,
Um,
junior high is hard.
yeah, apparently. What? How old were you in that picture?
I was
12?
no, no, I was one of those. I got held back a couple of times.
Just twice.
Yeah, just twice. I was
Yeah,
actually 16. 16
that's
in eighth grade.
that's fantastic. But again, I thank you for sharing that. It was it made my day. I really appreciated it. But on a serious note, it I do get cracked up seeing all these photos. What gets me even more is at the end of the year when every child is done with a grade, it is a graduation. I don't care if it's kindergarten,
Right.
first grade, third grade, preschool, diaper school, culinary school,
Diaper.
whatever.
It used to be kindergarten, and that was it. And then it's grown into a phenomenon.
Right.
And now you do. I think you do one for eighth grade in some cases.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, we didn't do anything. We just moved from class to class, grade to grade.
Yeah, exactly. Real quick, because it is National
We only
Vinyl
had one
Record Day.
room.
Sure. Because it is National Vinyl Record Day, I do want to acknowledge someone else who happens to be in the chat tonight and say hello to Kathy, who we've not seen in a while. I think she was able to pop in last week and listen to us. So, hi, Kathy. Glad to have you. Hopefully, you didn't miss the picture. You know what? Just in case Kathy missed your first day of school photo, it's only right for me to throw this back up for her to see. So Kathy, this is for you, just in case you didn't see it. I
I
want to
brought
make
an
sure.
apple.
You did bring an apple. I'm proud of you. Ooh, shh. Genius at work.
That's right. You got to be quiet for the genius.
Smart is the new cool. I love it.
I do
Absolutely
like
love
it.
it. Um,
That should be a shirt.
y- y- uh, okay.
Smart is the new cool. That's
Oh, I
awesome.
thought you meant your photo, that image, as I'm going to get
No,
one of those as a shirt. That would be fabulous for you.
no.
And we'll make you wear it on the show so that you can wear a picture of yourself. I think it's great.
Surprised you didn't put the I ace my grades or
No,
something
because
like
that's
that.
just cheesy.
And you're not.
No, not that bad. I got a question for you.
That
What do these have in common? Actually, I'm going to ask the chat, see if the chat can jump into this. What do these songs have in common? Stand. Until You Suffer Some, Fire and Ice. And we'll throw one to make it a little bit easier. Richie's Acoustic Thang. Anybody?
that makes it so much easier.
I thought so. I don't know if anybody's going to be able to type fast enough before I get into it. But if you don't recognize those right off the bat, those are from the 1993 release from Poison entitled Native Tongue. Of course, the opening track was Native Tongue. And you may be thinking to yourself, why are we talking about that? Considering it was released in 1993, Poison's not currently touring, and all that fun jazz. Well, it's all because Ricky Rocket, the drummer for Poison, was recently in an interview and he was doing a little bit of reflection on Native Tongue. There was a lot of stuff that came out with this being their fourth album. Um, they changed a lot of stuff. They changed
Right.
the party image, went more, dare
It's
I
a little more
say,
mature.
mature. I was going to say mainstream, but sure, we'll
Okay,
say
there you go.
mature. Um, this also happened to be the first album without CC DeVille. CC DeVille had obviously had issues with others in the band and vice versa. And so they ended up getting Richie Kotzen to play on lead guitar after CC DeVille's departure in 1991.
Right.
In
And
this,
this was Richie's like first exposure to major label type music. He was an
right.
independent artist before this.
Yeah. And the album still went platinum, but there were a lot of issues that people had because it did step away from the party animal type stuff from Open Up and Say, oh, look what the cat dragged in, Flesh and Blood. And now all of a sudden it's more modern, more mainstream. There were a lot of haters out there. Um, I was not one of them.
And when you say mainstream, you mean mainstream for the time,
Sure.
right? Because a lot of bands back then were changing their sound or changing their look. I think Winger's Pull came out around this time as well, which was a departure, but an excellent record.
Yeah, and this was also the early part of the whole grunge thing,
Right,
so with CC's departure, the Poison was basically consumed with trying to kind of reinvent Poison and in one way or another fill CC's shoes.
right. Change Poison, but also not too much that they're not. They don't want to be a grunge band. They just
Right.
want to fit fit the scene at the time.
Yeah. Not much different than what Metallica did with the Black Album. They had to change some things up, became more radio mainstream, sort of.
Certainly.
But anyway, in this interview that Ricky Rocket did, he basically said, "I like the album. I'm very proud of it." He liked the way he played in it. It was more musical and less party. I guess it's a
Yes.
great way to just break it down. Um, the album itself, I love it. It's one of those that I can listen. I'm a big fan of CC, and I loved all
It's
the
a
stuff that he did. But this
it's a,
album,
yeah.
yeah,
It's a phenomenal record. I picked it up right off the bat when it came out. At the time I was really into Poison in '93, so because I was still really into that stuff,
Right.
and I didn't know what to expect, but I had heard Stand, and I had heard of Richie Kotzen, so I wanted to hear what that sounded like. And what's really different about this is that they let Richie do a lot of writing. He brought Stand to the band because that was already written, and I
Which was
believe
going to
Brett
be part of
Michaels.
his solo album.
Yes, and I believe Brett had changed some lyrics. There's an original version that Richie does live. You can find on his live record,
Yeah.
and that right there was a departure. But I think it's honestly, I think it's their best written and produced record. Maybe not their best overall record, but I think it's hard to say it's not their best record. It's so good.
Yeah, I
It's just
think it
not what
dep
you're expecting though.
no, absolutely. You listen to their first 3 albums and you're like, "Oh, man, what's this one gonna be?" And then you hear that, it's like, "Whoa, big departure." It did peak at number 16, so it's not like it was an epic failure. Still went platinum. It was
The
still a
Stand was all
Poison
over
record.
MTV.
Oh, absolutely. To a point, because this is the point also when MTV was starting to say, yeah, we don't really want those kinds of videos anymore. So it was like, oh, okay, now we have to change everything. Um, any band that was famous from that era of the glam metal hair band, whatever you want to call them,
Right, right.
they were no longer welcome basically by MTV. So if you've ever seen the video for Stand, it is remarkably different than
Yes.
anything Poison had ever put out.
Yeah, and I would argue they were the prime example, Poison, of what MTV wanted to get away from. Look, if you look at their first album cover
Oh
with
yeah,
all the glam and the makeup and the hair and just everything they did, I mean, they were glam metal or glam rock. And so for them to strip all of that away and change the way they sound and the way they play and everything they do, that's a huge thing for them, and they did it well.
for sure. For sure. This was one of those things I was really glad to see that that he came out, whether it would have been Bobby or Ricky or Brett, actually came out and were like, yeah, defending the record, saying, I'm proud of it. It was good. And I thought it was a pretty good
Yeah.
news story to cover because we've been talking about Poison a lot in the past month, actually, probably about the past 6 months, hoping that they'll do something next year. So it was good to hear. And I think it's one of those bands that if you haven't listened to their catalog, this is definitely one I'd say, kind
Oh
of
yeah.
like you, put it at the top of your list and go check it out.
Right.
Go
Because
re listen to it, especially if it's been a few years.
well, and what I liked about the article was is that they're actually saying positive things about that period of time because there were not a lot of positive things going on in that band
No,
at that time. CC's departure, some animosity there. Richie's departure right after this record wasn't clean and wasn't pretty. But I think Richie has even come out and talked about positive memories of this time. Recording it in Los Angeles. Yeah, it's down here later in the article. So he came to LA, was moved here, going to San Francisco, back and forth from Philadelphia, making albums, and they brought him in for a year to work with this, on this album. Have you seen the concert footage that's out there on YouTube from this tour?
yes.
And you know what's different about that?
Oh, for
Uh,
sure.
they let Richie change every solo.
Yeah.
Every CC DeVille solo is different,
It's
which is
it's the
remarkable.
same but different.
Yeah, it's remarkable that they, said, yeah, whatever you want to do. And he's said that before, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to write,
Right.
because they were so open to change, and he was a breath of fresh air for this band, I think.
Absolutely. And one of the cool things too, which I think is very important to point out, is you listen to the first 3 albums, actually listen to the first two. And then when you get into Flesh and Blood,
Love it.
love Flesh and Blood, you get a little bit more lyrical maturity.
Hmm.
And then when you get
Little
to
blues.
stand, when you get to stand, you'll be. I was blown out of the water just because it was more sophisticated
Right.
lyrically.
Well, and Brett's no stranger to some sort of social message. You know, he did that with "Something to Believe In" off of Flesh and Blood. Correct.
Right. Yep.
That had a little bit of a social uh, presence to it, as well as a personal presence. So he's no stranger to that. So I think he took a bigger step in that direction with this song. It's an abstract view. It's not precise in what it's saying, but it stands for what you believe in. That's a pretty solid message, but it's also something that everyone can take in.
Yeah. No matter what your
What you're
message may
what you're
be.
standing for.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Viper throws in that Richie Kotzen is a phenomenal guitarist, 100%.
No doubt.
Some great solo stuff. Of course, Richie went on. Good grief, he went on to work with a bunch of different people.
Well, he
Um,
was in Mr. Big for
yeah,
two
yeah,
records,
yep.
and those are great records. And currently with his band with Mike Portnoy and Billy Sheehan in Winery Dogs, which is one of my favorite newer bands. I love the Winery Dogs.
Are they really considered newer?
I say that, but when did that come out? Probably 2010 or so. I don't know, but
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, that one, yeah.
20, something like that. To me, shoot, the Marvel movies are still new. It
Yeah, I'll
came out
give you that
yesterday,
one.
right?
If you're speaking of new albums, if you are waiting for a brand new Motley Crue album, boy, do we have news for you. In a recent interview, that's what all of these happen to be tonight, it seems like. In a recent interview, Nikki Six basically says the following: I know fans don't want to hear this, but I don't believe in making full length records anymore.
Yeah, I'm not shocked.
No. The amount
You
of
know,
work that goes into it, he basically says, if you're going to put 10 songs on the record, you got to write 20. And
right,
then you have to hope that five of those, at least five, are stellar enough to be released as singles to really make a difference and, sell and make the album
right.
worth it. We have talked on this show numerous times about people just throwing out singles, throwing out EPs. And Nikki
Yeah.
Six says that's pretty much the way to go and basically what they've been doing for a while.
They put out two. Was it Dogs of War and another one recently, with no hint of them being put on a record. Um, I
Well, they were on an EP.
oh, okay. So there, but that's not a full length thing. You're taking your five best songs that you've done at that moment and putting them out.
Yeah.
Uh, Chris Jericho has said recently even that he sees no point in Fozzy putting out records because they can throw singles out and then play them as they tour, and just incorporate them into their set.
They could play Judas and then call it a show because number one, everybody's going to be singing along. They
Yeah,
could play that
right.
5 times and it would be a show. 2024, October of 2024 is when Motley Crue released the canceled EP, of course, which featured the title track "Canceled." It also
And they're Beastie
featured
Boys.
"Dogs of War" and their cover version of "You Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party," originally from the Beastie Boys. This isn't the first time that they had released singles like that. Their last studio album, for anybody keeping track, 2008, and
Which
that was
blew us
Saints.
away, what, a week ago?
Yeah,
Blew us away how long it's been. And that was what, Saints of Los Angeles, right?
correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which overall was not a bad record.
no, I liked it. I enjoyed that one. And of course, in 2018, Motley Crue did record 4 new songs for the Dirt movie. If you've not seen that, please go watch The Dirt. It included
Good
the
one.
single The Dirt, which featured Machine Gun Kelly, Ride with the Devil, Crash and Burn, and their own spin, of course, on Madonna's Like a Virgin. like a virgin, not a version. It was a version of Like a Virgin. Um, I absolutely love their take on that song. And
Yeah,
Vince sounds good.
good. I
So,
and I understand when a band that's been around this long and has their legacy that they don't feel the need to put out a record, um, but they can put singles out and have some fresh material to work with and throw something out to fans who want something new. But I get it. But I also appreciate bands that do put out albums and put the effort in. I think it depends on what you feel like at a creative level, what you want to do, and what you think you can sell,
right.
or at least get people to care about.
Yeah, we're getting ready to get the album from President, which I will
Right.
say right now, I am surprised because that seems to me like they should be doing. I don't want to say should, but it seems to me that they would be doing an EP or just releasing singles as they have been. But that's not what they're doing. They're putting a full album out. They have dropped 3 or 4 singles from it. So far, all of them are amazing, but they're one that they want to put out an album and good because I think there's a calling and I think there's demand for that band in particular to put out an album. I don't know if that demand would be there for a Motley Crue, especially the state of Vince's vocals. I'll say it. Can a lot of stuff be done in studio?
Yeah.
100%. Abso-freaking-lutely. Speaking for me, I don't want that. I want to know and remember what we've had from studio albums from Motley Crue without all the engineering or fixing or whatever it is you want to call it. Um, and I'll be okay with Saints of Los Angeles being their next
Well,
one.
I think as far as President goes, being a newer band, they need to have an album out to tour on and have something to work with when they play.
Sure.
Uh, they need more than 3 songs and maybe whatever covers they might do to fill the space. It makes sense for them to put out a record, and as you said, there may be a demand for it. I'm sure there is because there's so much hype for that band. The newer bands I get, Motley Crue's fan base is significantly older, the hardcore fans.
Hey,
But
easy, easy.
but if we got a whiff or a hint that they were going to go back to their classic sound for a record and go back to that style, Kiss did it with Sonic Boom, trying to recreate that '70s style of Kiss. If they put out something like Shout at the Devil or Theater of Pain ish, that type of era, and we got a whiff of it in singles, I bet that would do a little bit. I'm not saying it would go platinum or in, however we do sales these days, but I think it would definitely create some buzz.
I would love for it to happen just for the simple fact that I would love to hear John 5 put his mark on
Right.
Motley Crue.
On a Motley Crue record
Right.
and say, this is, it's the classic sound, but this is how I put, a spin on it or how I make it sound like
Yeah.
what I want.
No
I'd love
remakes.
that.
No, none of that. I want all original stuff, but I want John 5 all over it. Oh,
Yeah. I don't want any of this. Let's redo the greatest hits and put John 5 in it and remaster them. I don't want anything like that.
no.
Give me something original. Give me 8 songs, 8 to 10 songs, sound like Shout at the Devil, that sort of thing.
Exactly. We can dream.
Right.
Yeah. Another band has just announced that they too are beginning the preparations to release a new album. I stuttered there simply because we're always talking about new albums coming out. We don't know if this one will be out this year, but Heart, who recently celebrated their 50th anniversary and did a very extensive tour, they are beginning the preparations to release a new album. Nancy Wilson, who's been vocal about wanting the band to make another album, shared this news during an interview She told a journalist that the recording's all done for this record and that it's almost finished. This would be their first album since 2016 when they released Beautiful Broken. She goes on to say that it's really, really strong. I think it's going to be great. We wrote a bunch of songs and recorded them down in Nashville that we just played the last tour with the players, the band that they just did the last tour with. It was like a secondhand thing with each other because we played so many live shows. So the album was pretty much recorded live. I am highly looking forward to listening and hearing what Hart can put out.
Did you listen to the Ann Wilson solo record when it came out about a year
I
ago or so?
I did not.
Yeah, it was really really good, and this was around the time that this kerfuffle happened between the two sisters,
The what?
where the kerfuffle between the two sisters that effectively split them up for a brief period of time, and some of it was over. I thought whether to create new music or lean on our legacy more. And as a matter of fact, I thought it was Nancy, maybe I'm wrong, that was wanting to lean on legacy and didn't see the point of putting out a record. And thus Ann is putting out solo work, that kind of they were well, Nancy put out stuff too. They were both
Yeah.
putting out solo type stuff, but nothing with heart. It's good to hear that they want to do this. Um, I like a lot of the new Heart stuff that they put out. I think this will be no different. So I too am looking forward to it.
Yeah, and a lot of people have been wondering, well, what else is Hart going to do? With the new album, they've done the tour and all that. Well, in addition to the new album, there's also the long in the works Hart biopic, and a proper band documentary has been taking shape as well.
Excellent.
Anne has already put out that Ann Wilson documentary that she put out by herself called In My Voice, which came out earlier this year, I think. I
Ooh, I'll
think
have
it
to
was
check
this
that
year.
out.
Um, we were waiting for that to get done before we proceeded with the larger one. The larger one being the one for Hart. So they're still working to finish the script for the biopic, but Nancy has some ideas as to who she would like to see portray her in the upcoming film, and actually named Elle Fanning or Florence Pugh. So,
All
well,
right.
Florence Pugh for Anne, and Elle Fanning for Nancy. I'd watch it no matter who was playing them, unless it was like Bill and Ted.
You say Bill and Ted?
I did. I did.
It would be excellent. What are you
Most
saying?
excellent. Yeah. Well,
Biopics, man, they are coming out left and right, aren't they?
they seem to be. Everybody, well, it's a bandwagon that everybody's jumping on. But this goes much, much into the stuff that we used to get from VH1 behind the scenes. Those kind of things people love. I mean, we get it now with WWE content when they come out with
Right. Right.
whatever it's called.
Uh, I love uh, I love biographies of singers,
Yes,
bands, that sort of thing. I eat those things up. I read them all the time. I don't so much watch the biopics, but there's not been one out of anyone that I've been really really excited about. It's not that I don't like Elton John or Freddie Mercury or anything
sure.
like that. It's just that I just wasn't excited about that biopic. But the Kiss one that is supposed to be in the works. See, I'd like to see that and see what their take is and who they get to play these people. I would love that. This one looks good. Um, they also mentioned down here the other documentary, If These Walls Could Rock. That's been getting a lot of buzz lately. That is about a hotel in Hollywood, the Sunset Marquis Hotel, where a lot of rock stars stayed at.
Yeah.
I need to check that one out as well. But yeah, I'm all in for a Heart biopic.
Yeah, I there when all of these videos used to come out on VHS, we had the Metallica stuff that came out back in the day. There was Poison that came out. Skid Row had a freaking badass biopic, documentary, biography, whatever you want to call it. And I loved it. It was absolutely great. And I when I start watching those things, I get drawn in. because it's like, oh, I really want to know how this
Right.
happened, or what's the real um gosh, what am I thinking of? What's the movie that we've referenced on here numerous times? Decline of the Western Civilization Part Two: The
Yes,
Metal
yes.
Years.
Yeah,
Loved
that
it.
was great because that was a more reality based type of thing, and we a lot of that was staged, but we didn't know and we didn't care, and it was still rock and roll. It was awesome. You know, uh, the biopics though have to be right. An example of a good one is what we just talked about, which is the Motley Crue one, The Dirt. That was an
Yes.
excellent biopic. There is one about Def Leppard that came out. I'm not sure when, but it's horrible.
Oh,
It's horrible.
yeah.
Def Leppard deserves a better one than that.
Oh, you
Uh,
know
I
they'll get
actually
it.
I hope so because this one had a lot of the information in it, but it was more just this event, this event, this event, and then that was that.
Right.
I mean, it just
Exactly.
wasn't very good.
For anybody that loves Halloween, much like me, and loves horror movies and some of the
Oh
best
yes,
horror movies, this is just a real quick thing I wanted to plug. Um,
I heard
Officially
about this.
releasing on October 13th, the Firefly trilogy will be released, which includes House of a Thousand Corpses, The Devil's Rejects, and Three from Hell. What do those all have in common? Rob Zombie. These are all going to be released in an 8-disc collector set that'll be offered on Blu ray and 4K Ultra HD. It will be the very first time that House of a Thousand Corpses has ever been offered in 4K. As creepy and as ridiculous as that movie is, I don't know if I want to see it in 4K. But
uh,
I love that film. I love all of the stuff that Rob Zombie did. Um,
why
Good
isn't he doing
grief.
more?
I don't know. I don't know. We're talking about documentaries and biopics and all that stuff. There was actually a full feature length documentary called 30 Days in Hell, The Making of the Devil's Rejects, and 4-part long To Hell and Back, The Making of Three from Hell, as
Oh
well as
wow.
behind the scenes footage and audio commentary. Um, Golly, there's so much stuff going to be included with this. And if you've not seen, there's been some stuff on like YouTube and all that where they show kind of the making of these films. Totally worth watching. Rob Zombie can do a lot more than just sing and look cool and put on amazing stage shows. If you've never seen any of those movies, you really need to, especially with October just around the corner and becoming spooky season. Um, Check out his films. Please do
I,
yourself a
I
favor.
I like the Halloween ones, and I'm a Halloween fan, and people pick on those movies, but he still did a really good job with those movies.
Yes, for sure. He absolutely did. And don't forget, Rob Zombie will be on tour with Marilyn Manson and The Hugh starting next week. Holy moly. That kicks off August 20th in West Palm Beach, Florida. And if you are in or around us in the area of Indiana, he will be at Noblesville at Ruoff on September 6th. And I believe that is Zombie, Manson, and The Hugh as well. That is going to be a phenomenal show.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. You know who won't be there? Me. You
No.
know who will be there? Mrs.
Who?
TBT.
Really?
Yeah, she's going to that one. She loves
Man,
Marilyn Manson, so this is a bucket concert for her.
awesome. And someone has to stay home and play nurse,
Yeah, that's right. I guess that'll be me. All
I
right,
guess.
that's the show. No, not really. We do have a couple more stories. I'm going to get into this one real quick because this is a monumental occasion for Ozzy Osbourne, who never seems to leave the news, whether it's from him or it's from Sharon or whoever it may be. But Ozzy is back in the news because the classic 1980 song Crazy Train has landed in Spotify's Billions Club. Uh, what does that mean? It basically means it has surpassed 1 billion, that's billion with a B, streams on Spotify's platform. This marks just over 1,300 songs ever that have made this, including Nothing Else Matters, Enter Sandman, Master of Puppets from Metallica, Dream On from Aerosmith, Eye of the Tiger from Survivor, Last Resort, Papa Roach. I mean, there's a lot. I'm not going to go through the list of 1,300, but this is huge.
I I shouldn't be surprised at all.
No.
Especially with I wonder how long this took since he passed. Where was it
Or
when
where
he?
it was before he passed until,
Yes,
yeah,
until now, because I bet that was a. I mean, I bet that boosted the song a little bit. I give it a
guarantee it
little
did.
bump. Because look at Master of Puppets; it's on the list.
Yeah.
But would it have been there if Stranger Things had not featured it?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
No, okay. I'm
Master.
saying it didn't hurt. It didn't
Yeah.
hurt.
It absolutely did not hurt. Crazy. What helps is when some of these songs they get licensed for different things, whether
Yes,
it be movie, TV
yes,
shows, or whatever. And Crazy Train has been licensed numerous times, uh,
everywhere.
including for the films Megamind, Magic Mike, which is one of moderator Natalie's favorite movies, as well as TV shows The Osbournes, The Office, and The Simpsons. So very cool with that. Um, a billion downloads. A
Wow.
billion. I can't imagine. Cannot imagine. When did they first start? They first started. They launched the Billions Club. First launched in 2020 and includes all of the songs on Spotify that have surpassed 1 billion streams on the platform. After the achievement, Spotify gifts artists the Billions Club plaque. So they get something to hang on the wall. So apparently you can go on Spotify and listen to the Billions Club playlist,
Oh, nice.
which would be over 1,300 songs. So it will take
Uh,
you at least 10 hours
hey,
to listen to
not me. I'd probably skip quite a few.
it. Yeah, probably. Speaking of Spotify, as we jump into our last story of this evening, Spotify has made the decision that they will now start telling you when an artist isn't real. Yeah, we're talking about AI. So that new singer in your Spotify playlist may have a name, a face, and a carefully written bio, but pretty soon Spotify will also tell you if they are real or they simply don't exist. Beginning next month, mid September, the streaming platform will place an AI persona badge on profiles built around AI generated identities. Music from those profiles will also be excluded from Spotify's editorial playlists and algorithmic recommendations by default. That announcement came out yesterday. Spotify will also stop introducing listeners to AI personas by default, like I just said. Their songs should no longer pop up in Discover Weekly, Release Radar, or another personalized playlist unless you've already shown interest in the artist. So basically, if you don't know about them already, you're not going to learn about them from Spotify.
That's probably good for a lot of people because I guess people were getting upset that it was kind of being pushed down their throats a little bit, um, showing up, in what you said, new music or things you may like or whatever that category is.
Well,
Um,
you're still going to be able to search for, play, and follow
right,
these AI
right.
personas,
If
but
you like them,
yeah, Spotify just doesn't want you to come across them by accident.
right, because when people get upset when they
Right.
find out that something they actually liked wasn't real and wasn't made by real people. Sometimes anyway. Uh, as you and I both know, with our experiments with this and AI music, a lot of it can come out sounding really well if you know what you're doing. Um,
Absolutely.
really, our new theme song is a prime example of that because we created that. And it sounds great. But I guess a lot of mass-produced AI slop has been coming out, and
Probably.
so it's been uploaded in bulk to game the royalty system. Spotify removed 75 million spammy AI generated tracks in 1 year.
Right.
Wow, that's a lot. And it's a little bit of a process to get a song up to streaming, I think, isn't it? That's what I've read.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to pay a little money out, and you have to, get it mixed and get it sent up to these companies that do that.
Right.
Um, I don't know. I'm glad that I haven't experienced this yet in anything I stream, but I use Apple, so I don't know if Apple has a different way of doing that or not, or maybe I've been tricked all along from some of these bands I like.
Well, I can tell you right now because I have got a band on my playlist right now that is AI. I'm man enough to admit that because I was one of those that was checking these bands out because I come across them on TikTok. That's not what I wanted to do. I want to try to go to the show
The
and
bio
other
page,
music. Yeah, I want to go to the bio page and see what it says. So the name of this band, it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Um, no, there is nothing on here, and I'm looking at it right now live. There is nothing on here that says that this is AI generated. How do I know it is? I
nothing.
know it is because they're on TikTok and it's not hard to figure out. It is not hard to figure out at all because a lot of these AI generated songs, albums, whatever, um, a lot of them sound the same because they're using a lot of the same
The same prompts,
program, prompts, all of that, and creating an album. And then somebody goes, or an EP. I don't think there's a full
right?
album out yet. There could be, could very well be. Um, the some of it, I'm going to admit, some of it's good. Some of it will dupe you. It will fool you completely, and you'll be like,
Yes,
"Man, those are some phenomenal lyrics." You know, oh, what was going on in this person's head when they wrote it? I'm torn. I am torn in if you get somebody if you get somebody that is into music, they love music. They have zero artistic ability when it comes to playing an instrument. They can't carry a tune to save their life, but maybe they're good at writing lyrics.
yes, like
Is this not and there's a clear difference between getting something and throwing it onto Spotify and Apple and all of that. Is this not a good outlet for somebody like that to put their ideas or their imagination or their talent into something? A beautiful song is created, and now they have something to say, I'm pretty proud of that. And they didn't have to they're not paying anybody any royalty. They didn't have to pay a band to sing it. They didn't
right,
have to, get studio time because they could take 30 minutes on an app, put their lyrics in, put the prompts in for what they want it to sound like from
right,
from guitar to cowbells, drums, bass, whatever, and master it to the way they saw it in their brain and they've brought it to life. What is the problem with that? What is the difference between that and what people do with photographs when we used to use Photoshop and everybody was fine using Photoshop, but now if you're using AI, now it's a problem. Was Photoshop not the original AI when it came to duping
well,
photos and changing things? What is the
We
difference with music?
we do it everywhere with filtering the photographs. Not just Photoshop, but just hitting a filter on your
Oh, for sure.
before you post something, and then your face is washed out and you have no nose. Um, I think I think the main difference, because people have a problem understanding creativity and what we define creativity as. So if I tell you, uh, a good example, I have created a million of these just for myself, and I've sent them to you, a handful. Um, but these are songs that I've written the lyrics for, and I prompted the sound and what I wanted to sound like, and I didn't play an instrument, I didn't sing a note, but I came up with a cool song with some cool lyrics.
We're not
Uh,
afraid to admit that that is exactly what we did for our new theme song. We were not going to pay a band or pay
no,
royalty to have anything done, but the lyrics that were put in the prompts were done by you and me. So it's
right,
original. Do we own the rights to that song? Absolutely.
absolutely, sure,
But
sure.
we didn't play the instruments, and I'm not afraid to admit that. What is the difference? I want to change it onto something else. What's the difference between using Snapchat and sending stupid filter pictures of googly eyes or whatever? You
I
know,
think,
you look like an ogre now because you used a
well,
filter. Still
I
AI.
think, I think that's what this whole process is about. Is trying to make sure everyone knows this was produced using AI, so you know what to expect. Then, if you enjoy it and you think it's really cool, at least you know where it came from. Um, I
Your
mean,
your your Facebook, your I think Instagram, all of those. If you put something up, it'll maybe it's just on TikTok. It'll say AI generated. And
uh,
the two things I wanted to point out real quick in the chat because we're getting close to time. Backstage recording said no matter what, if it's a good song, people will buy into it. 100% correct. Um,
that's what I
Pam's
think.
Pam said it's equivalent to animated movies to live action. It's all an art, just a different type. And moderator Natalie said she feels attacked. No, because we've all done Snapchat filters to look like a freaking clown or a
Well,
freaking
or
ogre or whatever.
Photoshop to clean something up before you post it.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Suno, which is the app we use to make these songs, this sort of
No,
thing,
we don't.
is putting a watermark in their generations. So if you do upload that and get it onto Spotify, it will filter it out as AI. So it'll
Yeah.
separate it. Um, but yeah, if it's I think people have this expectation of seeing a live band, like the band I create will never tour because they don't exist.
Yeah.
But I also think it's a cool tool if you want to make a demo. What if I wanted to present that to somebody as a demo and
Absolutely.
say, "This is a great song. You should try to play it and make it
Yeah.
real, more
Here it
real.
is.
Not that it's not real.
Yeah.
There you go.
Here it is. Do what you want with it. I'm giving you my permissions to do it.
Yeah, that
Um,
sounds so familiar.
it's a fight that we're going to be fighting for a long time. But I don't know. I don't know. It's an AI thing that's going to go on and on and on.
Yeah, we're not done with it. It's going to get
Maybe
more
we
progressive.
are AI.
Maybe,
We're not really here. Maybe.
maybe.
That's our episode for this week, guys. We appreciate it. We will get into this discussion again, I am sure. This was episode 193. Don't forget, next week is 194. Join us, jump in the chat, watch us live, or watch us afterwards, or just listen on your way to work, or when you're laying on the couch naked, or when you're getting ready to go to school, because that's what Ace did. And no, that was not AI. We'll
No,
see you
not at
guys
all.
next week.